Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just get a sense that tension, stress, anxiety is leaving your body in your outward breath. Notice that with your eyes closed, you can focus more of your attention on the sound of my voice. And as you breathe in and breathe out, just feel that more and more of any tension or stress is just leaving your body in that outward breath. That's it. Releasing that tension around the jaw, the eyes, the neck, the shoulders, just feeling deeper and deeper relaxed. I want you to imagine you are standing outside of a house, seeing a vehicle. This is a powerful vehicle, perhaps a new car with a big engine, and it can take you to different places. And I want you to imagine there is a driver of that vehicle. You're the passenger. And I want you to imagine that driver has a tonality of hopelessness, that bad things are going to happen, that something's wrong with you, a sense that things aren't possible. You can call this part pessimistic, cynical, doubtful. And I want you to imagine that this driver of this vehicle starts driving. And I want you to imagine they're taking you to a derelict part of a city, boarded up shops, lots of poverty. Maybe you get the sense that this is a dangerous or undesirable place. Continue to breathe in and breathe out, and just get a sense that a beautiful vehicle can take you to an undesirable place. And I want you to imagine the driver is asking you questions. What if you can't do things? What if it doesn't work out? What if you get sick? What if things don't go to plan? I want you to notice that when you're asked questions that have the possibility of something bad happen, it becomes natural for your powerful computer that is your brain to consider their questions like they're valid questions. If someone's asked, what if they lose someone they love? It can make them feel sad. What if something doesn't work out? It can make them feel like a failure or stupid. I want you to get a sense that the quality of the questions is directly proportionate to the quality of your emotions. I want you to imagine this driver. You can tell from the expression on their face, they just look worn down, tired of life. The kind of person that just assumes that bad things are going to happen. Inevitably, things won't work out. And I want you to imagine that they're asking how you are. Maybe they're saying, how do you feel? And I want you to imagine that your response could easily be to enter their world. Yeah, not too good. Okay, I guess. Except here in this environment, it isn't. I want you to imagine that you're focused on the good feelings you have, grateful for the health and well-being that you have. So when they ask the question, "Are you okay?" Imagine responding, beaming with vitality and energy. "I feel great. I feel amazing. I feel the best I've ever felt." And yet this pessimistic part is trying to find a chink in your armor. "Sure you're okay?" Imagine yourself responding, "Absolutely, I feel great." Imagine them asking what if questions. What if you don't feel so good? I want you to get a sense that the more this part tries to make you feel anxious, weak, or sick, that it creates what's known as a polarity response. You've played games as a child where the more that one thing happened, the more you did the opposite. I want you to get a sense that the more this part tries to make you feel pessimistic, negative, sad, or stressed, or anxious, that it actually creates the polar opposite emotion. What if things don't work out today? I'll learn from them. What if you try that thing and you make a fool of yourself? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. The more it tries to get you in that mood of paralysis, stagnation, doubt and fear, interestingly, the more it creates a feeling of wanting to prove that part wrong. "Yeah, I don't think things are going to work out. Watch me." There is nothing more powerful than proving a doubter wrong. And I want you to unlock those resources. That the more either someone in real life or a voice in your head tries to make you feel doubtful, sick, anxious, stressed, worried, the more it encourages you to focus on the brighter side, the positives, what could go right. What if you mess things up? Imagine responding with something positive, confident. And then I want you to imagine that you can figure out the agenda of this driver. Ask questions. Why are you asking? What's your intention? Do you want good things for me? And notice that when you hold a mirror back to this pessimism, maybe it creates a defensive approach, or maybe it reflects back a feeling of insignificance because this part doesn't feel good about itself. It's trying to make you feel not good about yourself either. And if that's the case, you can coach this part and say, what if you looked at what could go right rather than what could go wrong? What if we focus on the positives rather than the negatives? What if we focus on what's useful rather than those things we can't control? And notice that when you respond with a question to a question, it puts you in control. How are you feeling? Great, how are you? Are you sure? I'm amazing. Doesn't it feel good to feel good? I want you to get a sense that questions give you the ability to control your emotions, but also control your focus. And where focus goes, energy flows. I want you to imagine driving back to the same location and a new driver climbs into that same car. I want you to get a sense that you can tell it's the same person, but they're wearing smart clothes. Their facial expression is now positive and enthusiastic, and they're driving you to a paradise. They're also asking how you are, but with an upbeat, positive tonality. How are you? What have you got planned for today? Beaming with enthusiasm and positivity. What if today was the best day you've had in ages? What if today decisions get made that create a chain reaction that creates wonderful moments in your life? What if even something happens that isn't great, but you learn something precious and valuable from it? I want you to get a sense that this new driver is the same part, but with an optimistic, positive energy. And notice that when this part asks questions, you start feeling better about yourself. Good ideas come your way. You feel encouraged, supported, validated, inspired. Maybe they're asking questions about, what have you always wanted to do but you haven't done yet? What if we make one tiny bit of progress towards that new chapter in your life? Notice that the vehicle is the same, but with a different energy attached to the driver, it can take you into powerfully positive new directions. What you lose in anxiety, you gain in resources, self-belief, and encouragement. And I wonder, what ifs are a gateway, not to anxiety, but to powerful resources that improve the quality of your life? What if the what ifs can drive you somewhere wonderful rather than somewhere horrible? If your unconscious mind accepts that this is a useful dynamic, a new relationship with yourself, to yourself, giving you the opportunity to steer your life in wonderfully positive directions, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to imagine at any point in time, you can always choose to take the wheel of this car and drive wherever you want to go, simply because you choose to. Imagine driving back to that house, seeing this vehicle, but seeing many other vehicles. This vehicle of overthinking is just one vehicle you can use to steer your life in a positive direction. And I want you to see row upon row of vehicles that can also be used to take your life in wonderfully positive directions. Find yourself returning to the present, listening to my voice as you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, get a sense that all parts returning to the present as I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.